Talk365's Small Talk is presented by University Credit Union.
Hey everybody, welcome to Small Talk. Today I am at BodyRenu with Dr. Brian Rodgers. Dr. Rodgers, thank you so much for letting me swing by.
Thank you for coming.
I am so excited to talk with you because on one hand, you and I have just embarked on a crazy little trail of you being my doctor. I am now your patient. You are one of the experts on our wellness team, and I am so excited to unleash this in the next few weeks on everybody because I've got so many incredible people, including this guy, on this team to bring you the latest and greatest in everything wellness and self-improvement. But first of all, what were you thinking? Are you terrified? Are you just...
No, I love doing this. This is great.
You didn't like have me leave and look at my test and go, oh no, I've bitten off more than I can chew?
No, I prefer a challenging patient. That makes it more fun, more challenging, and more rewarding when we get everybody better.
Okay, good. It's a tough gig. And we were talking medical and going out on your own, even tougher gig in some ways. But before we get too far into that, let's start with where did you grow up and when did you first decided you wanted to be a doctor?
I grew up in Minneapolis. I came from a poor family, so I never thought medical school was possible, but I wanted to work in the medical field. Lo and behold, after some time, I was able to get to medical school, and I was thrilled when that happened. I had some things along the way. I spent a couple years in Haiti and saw the medical system there, and it was horrible, and I wanted to do something to help those people and others.
That's awesome. So did your family move to Utah, or how did you make your way here?
I started and I went to BYU.
Nice.
I just ticked off half your audience. I apologize.
Well, that's okay. I do it every day because I am a U girl, but my nephew's the backup quarterback at the Y. So, I have to have love for both sides, people.
Absolutely.
I know, as we do. So you're at the Y, you're there, and you're getting your doctorate degree there.
I'm getting my bachelor's of science there. I got a degree in chemistry there.
Okay.
After that, I went to medical school in Kansas City at the osteopathic school there.
Okay, got it. And you became a DO.
Correct.
What does that mean?
DO, or Doctor of Osteopathy, is a different branch of medicine. We're considered legally the same as MDs. However, we do a little bit more training. We try to treat a patient as a whole. We focus on the patient themselves rather than on the disease or the disease process. And so we might look at how other things in their life interact. We also can do manipulation to help straighten spines and other joints.
Oh, wow. So actually, we were talking a little bit before, that was the beginnings of functional medicine, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Osteopathic medicine is the start of functional medicine, in my opinion. It was started by A.T. Still, who is a Civil War surgeon who was an MD. He did some additional training and he decided to start a different track, trying to help with the root cause of medicine. He was probably the first functional medicine physician, although he didn't say he was at the time.
That wasn't a term quite defined.
Not then.
And so after you finished there, where from there?
There I went to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona for my residency for 3 years. Then I spent 3 years in rural Oregon practicing, and then I moved to Bountiful.
Okay, and you opened up right where we are, right?
That's correct.
Right here.
Right in this building.
Right here by the hospital is an incredible location, and you started out as a family practitioner.
Just a family practice, solo practitioner. We started almost 20 years ago. Practice started great. About a year after I started practicing, 9/11 happened. I nearly lost my business, but somehow or another we were lucky and we made it through, and here we are now.
And here we are now, which is an exciting place to be because you have just opened right next door to your original practice, a brand new functional medical side, and I mean, it is absolutely beautiful in here, number one.
Thank you.
But it also had to be another leap of faith, number two, right?
Absolutely. Every time you start a business, you obviously have to do your homework, but it is a leap of faith to go out and extend yourself, your time, your money. You have to love what you're doing.
And this is almost a completely different thing. Of course, you're still practicing medicine and going for the root cause, which is at the heart of obviously the school you chose to get your doctorate degree. You've always wanted this, so it makes perfect sense that this is where you're going. But functional medicine being something that insurance doesn't necessarily cover, right?
That's correct. When you're a physician working in the insurance side, you actually work for the insurance company and not the patients, because the patient and I sign a contract with the insurance company that says we'll follow their rules. And so we have to stick with their rules. But functional medicine helps those chronic patients who have chronic conditions that traditional medicine doesn't help. in my practice, I was seeing a lot of people that weren't being helped by traditional medicine. And I wanted to help those people, and that's why I went into functional medicine.
I was actually talking with your receptionist right before we started the interview, and we were saying how the healthcare system is so broken because a doctor can be paid more for like putting in a stint than for spending 45 minutes to find out what was going on and why the problem happened. And that just seems so backwards to me. You should be paid more for caring more and less for doing the crazy stuff.
That's correct. Yeah, medicine right now is paid by the procedure, but they don't pay so much for primary care. They're trying to adjust it. We'll see if that happens in the future.
I think a lot of my story as far as, I had H. pylori, which I think was a result of a lot of stress, a lot of, and even good stress, because I was rocking on. I had really great things happening in my life, but it was a lot of pressure, not a lot of sleep, not a lot of food. And so I think I was ripe for the takeover. And I definitely understand that stress is something that can help cause, but actually finding that diagnosis took me about a year. And I was in and out of 2 emergency room visits. I saw 2 gastroenterologists, and everyone just sent me back and said I was fine, I was stressed, keep doing what you're doing as far as therapeutic routes and take some Tums basically. And it didn't go away, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. But all I needed was a simple blood test. And when I came in here and we had an opportunity to do all the testing for me, I want to say 10 vials that you guys took, and it was
at least
amazing. And then we did a secondary test, which we'll talk about in the future a little bit more in detail, or maybe not so much in detail, but it was a wonderful test to find out what exactly was going on in my body. And I probably spent over $2,000 getting MRIs and CT scans and exposure to radiation, where a blood test would have told the doctor what was happening. And somehow in all of those systems that I went through, not one person gave me any type of a blood test, let alone one like yours.
Well, it's important to check for the blood test, to check for cholesterol, check the metabolic panel, that we always do, the complete blood cell count. But it's also important to check for hormones, genetic testing, nutrient levels, and such, to help us to really find the root cause of the problem. We look for inflammation markers also. And if we don't do those, we can't really understand what's happening with your body. Each person is a unique individual, genetically, the way they were raised, the diet that they eat. And because everybody's unique, we need to treat them as unique individuals.
As far as opening up over here, that had to involve a little risk as well.
Absolutely. We've leased an additional office space so that we can practice the way we want, to set the mood we want. If you walk into both my waiting rooms, there's a totally different mood in each different office, and have the right equipment. And so, yeah, there is some risk starting here.
And what would you tell someone out there thinking they would like to start, whether they're in medical school, whether they're coming up, whether they are just thinking they want to start their own business? What advice would you give them at this point, looking back?
Make sure you do your homework first. Make sure it's something that you can do. But also, you're going to have to take the leap of faith. You have to take that jump. If you don't take that jump, you're never going to know.
Make sure you really love what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
I've heard, interestingly enough, that is the piece of advice I would say across the board, with a few deviations, that most people give, is to make sure you really love what you're doing. And I think that is because it is a labor of love, and making money really has to just go the wayside.
Absolutely.
And in the meantime, if you're interested in Dr. Rodgers, check out this website.
It's at BodyRenuHealth.com. BodyRenuHealth.com.
And what is the best way for someone to get in contact with you?
Probably through the website, or they can call us at 801-677-0039.
And is a consultation, how does that work if someone just wanted to talk about a few things?
If someone wants to just come in, meet me to see if I'm a good fit for them, we have space available on our schedule to do that.
Well, do log on, do give them a call, get in here, have a consultation if you're suffering with something, or even if you just want to have the testing done for a yearly checkup and get feeling better. You know how big I advocate getting your blood work done and finding out what is really going on in your body and how to feel better, because it's your health is all you've got at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back, Rich and I in studio right after this.